Good morning, students. Today we are going to start lesson 5, that is force, law and motion. As you people had studied in last class about the motion and its law, today we will see further. As you people came to know, when any object is moving from one place to another, then it will be called as in motion. Suppose you are riding a bicycle, we need a pedal. If you are not doing the pedaling work, what happens? The cycle will be in a stationary place. But when you will do the pedaling, it will be in a motion. Okay, children, here one activity is given. What happened? One slope is there. There we had scrolled one ball. When we had scrolled one ball, one wooden flag is there. In that flag, what happens? It will come and it will might be possible it will move. But in the particular tray, if you are going to use the sand, so what happens? It will got one grip and it will be adhered over the surface of that particular base one. Okay, children. Then you people had learned about the frictional force. Less will be the frictional force. It will not move. We need one friction. On the basis of that only we are showing the movement from one place to another. So Galileo, he said that in absence of external force of resistivity, the object moving at a constant velocity remains in its state of motion. Similarly, object at rest remains in the state of rest until it will get any external force. Suppose I am sitting here, I want to move from here to another place. So what happens? It needs certain force, or I will stand and I will walk. So for walking purpose also, from the surface, that is from the floor to the particular feet, I need certain friction. If friction is not there, definitely I will slip and I will fall down. Okay, children, inertia and mass, we will see what is inertia and what is mass. What is inertia? Let us see. Some examples are given that we can see that every object resists any change in its state, whether it is in a rest or motion. It doesn't want to change in a state and wants to remain in its initial state of motion. This particular characteristic is your inertia. Suppose I am sitting, I don't want to move from here to another place. So that will be my inertia, because I am storing the energy. Okay, let us see. Again, I will give you the exact definition of inertia. First, you see the example. Two plastic bottles A and B we had taken. Fill water with B. Bottle B with water. Drop both the bottle by pushing them with your hand. What happened? Which bottle will fall first? Definitely the empty bottle will push and drop first as compared to the filled one, because filled one is having certain mass of energy. Okay, children. Then see, to change the state of the filled bottle, we need to apply force as compared to the empty bottle. As compared to the empty bottle, what we will do? We will apply more force to the filled bottle, and it will allow the bottle to fall down. As it is falling down because of the heavier object, it will have more inertia, more pressure is needed, more force is needed. So what happens? That will be your inertia. Less weight, less force, less inertia. More weight, more force, more inertia. Okay, children. So which means that mass is the measure property of the inertia of the object. If 1 kg of object is there and 2 kg of object is there, definitely 1 kg will have less inertia as compared to the 2 kg. Okay, children, I hope now it is understood about the inertia. More will be the mass, more will be the inertia. Actually, that is a type of your force only, what we are exerting on the basis of the mass. Then children, next one, balance and unbalanced force. Here in this, what it is given, we will take one wooden log. In that wooden log, what happens? Hook and other thing we will take, that is A and B. You can see both the side P and Q, we will put one spring and we will try to stretch it up. When we are trying to stretch it up, what happens? The wooden block, if constantly it is moving both the side, then it will be have a balanced force. But if any one side is going to be stretched more as compared to the other one, then it will be known as your unbalanced force. Okay, children, I hope balanced and unbalanced people had understood. Then first law of motion. What is first law of motion? Every object remains in its state of rest or the state of uniform motion until some unbalanced external force act upon it. What it is, children? If any object is kept in that respective place, it will be in that manner only until and unless any external force is going to be exerted over that. That external force may be in uniform motion, or sometimes it will be unbalanced also. Okay, non-uniform motion also. On the basis of that, the object will migrate in the side where the force is more. Okay, children. Linear momentum. What is linear momentum? The first law is also telling you about the linear momentum. When unbalanced external forces acted on the object, then there will be change in velocity. As there will be change in velocity, the force applied on the object is going to be moved both in that direction A or in the direction B. Here again, one activity is given: take a big tray, fill it with the sand or wet soil, then drop a cricket ball or plastic ball. When you are dropping a cricket ball or plastic ball, what will happen? Both the balls similar on the sand. See children, plastic ball and the cricket ball. Either you take the tennis ball or the cork ball. What happens when you will drop? It will be remain in its fixed position. But the plastic ball, it will jump and it will move little bit further, because the cork ball is having more weight as compared to the plastic ball. Okay, so here also that same thing had been told about the particular impact depends upon its mass. Next thing children, the impact of the cricket ball having greater mass is more. That one had been shown. The what will be the first law? First you see, the product of the mass of the object and its velocity is called as the momentum. Mass into velocity, that will be known as its momentum. So we can mathematically we can express it in the form of capital P equals to mv. Capital P equals to your mv. So the unit of that particular momentum will be both on the basis of vector quantity, that is magnitude and direction. And this direction of momentum will be similar to the direction of the velocity. The SI unit of momentum will be your kilogram meter per second, that is kg dot meter per second. Okay children. Then you can also say that as the force is going to change, the momentum is also going to be changed. And what happens here? Think of such situation where a car with a weak battery is pushed. So in that case what happens? Then that if a car is having very weak battery and if you want to push it on the road, it will not move in a straight line. What happens? Start initially by applied force constantly, then after some time again the speed of the car increases or decreases, and so on. That process will be carried out. I hope you people had understood this one. So that is one example of your first law of motion. Next class we will continue about the second law of motion. Okay children, take care.